Kuzambol. Welcome to Bhutan e-learning project. I am Bim Prasad Bhatrai, teacher of Karma Academic. Today I am taking you through geography lesson on urban settlement for key stage 5 classes 11 and 12. Now, before going into the lesson, I am going to show you the lesson outline and objectives. First, lesson outline. We are going to discuss about introduction, urbanization in Bhutan, factor influencing location and growth of urban centers, concentric zone theory and urban classification, and finally we are going to see impact of urbanization. Then objectives. At the end of the lesson, students, you are expected to explain the meaning of urban settlement, elaborate the factors influencing location and growth of urban centers, explain concentric zone theory, explain the impact of urbanization. This session seems to be very lengthy, but if you give me your time, you and I will enjoy a lot. Let's start. See the picture. A very interesting, right? Beautiful houses, nice environment, good motorable roads, good facilities, better medical facilities. This is what we call as urbanization. So let's define what's meant by urban settlement, right? What's meant by urban settlement? There, urban settlement means the settlement where people are mainly engaged in secondary and tertiary activities like industry, trade, transport and services, and where there are more modern facilities and high population density. Okay, urban settlements means a settlement where people are mainly engaged in secondary and tertiary activities, right, where they have good facilities like industry, trade, transport and high density of population. That is called as urban settlement. Then there is another concept called as urbanization. So what's mean by urbanization, right? Urbanization. Urbanization is nothing, is the process of movement of people from rural to urban areas, and the traditional society is transport. Similarly, you just take an example of yourself. If you are living in community, a rural village, when you come to urban, you will be changed into modern. You will be transformed totally into modern, because when you are in village, you will be dressed differently. When you come back to urban, you will dress differently. So not that meaning exactly here. Here it means that it is the process of movement of people from rural to urban areas, and the traditional society is transformed into more urbanized and modern societies. Just look at the people living in urban settlement and people living in rural settlements, right? Okay, now next, urbanization in Bhutan. Urbanization in Bhutan is a recent phenomena, which means it started very late. Urbanization in Bhutan started only after 1960s, that was after the establishment of first 5-year plan. Under this 5-year plan, developmental strategy, the construction of roads and establishment of infrastructure and educational and health facility took a place. That's how public sectors gain momentum, and that's rural urban migration increases and the population in urban areas increase. That's how urban areas started developing in our country. In our country, urban areas like Thimphu city has developed only after the establishment of road transport. And now, as of now, we have 4 Thomdes, like we have Thimphu Thomde, Gyelephu Thomde, Samjongkhak Thomde and Phuntsiling Thomde, and all the Dzongkhag headquarters have administrative towns and Dzongkhag towns there. Now even the rural village is developing into a small business centers, and that's how the urbanization is taking place in Bhutan. Now, what has led in growth of urban centers? How urban centers is improving? Why urban centers are developing? That is exactly factors influencing location and growth of urban centers in Bhutan. So let's see what are the factors. The first factor is modes of transportation. Air transport, road transport, railways, these are modes of transportation. We'll discuss this in detail. And then next is availability of agricultural resources. How agricultural resources has developed down. We are going to discuss that. And then next one is availability of mineral resources, how mineral resources lead to development of town. Then we are going to see fourth factors, that is availability of educational facilities or institutional facilities. We are going to discuss that, and finally we are going to see industrialization has also led to the growth of urban centers. Now let us start. Modes of transportation. Transportation is very important factors for growth of urbanization. This is because transport is essential, because transport helps in bringing raw materials, machineries and manpowers required to develop the urban centers. Once again, transport helps to bring the raw materials, machineries and manpower required for growth of urban center. That is how, for example, Thimphu city in Bhutan has developed only after establishment of road transport in our country. And all the town in Dzongkhag and all 4 Thomdes have developed in our country only after the construction of road transport in our country, right. So that is how transportation helps to develop the town areas or urban centers. Now next, availability of agricultural resources. People might wonder, how does agricultural resources leads to development of urban centers? But there is a best way here. Availability of agricultural resources attracts agro-based industry, which means wherever there is agricultural resources, it will attract agro-based industry. Moreover, if there is surplus supply of agricultural product, there will be factories coming up in that area producing farm machineries, fertilizers and pesticides, right. So these factories will attract the population now, and when there is more population, that will start a business, and that is how slowly a town will start growing, right. Best example is Paro town has developed due to agricultural resources. The Farm Machineries Corporation Limited is located there, right. Then the next factor is availability of mineral resources. Wherever there is mineral resources, you might have already studied in population saying that wherever there is mineral resources, there will be high number of population. Wherever there is large mineral resources, population will flock in, and that is how slowly the mineral resources will ultimately help to growth in industrial town. It will lead to grow in industry, then later on it will lead to grow in industrial town. For example, Gomtu town, Pema Kachel town due to availability of gypsum. These are all town developed due to availability of mineral resources. Next factors is availability of educational facilities or institutional facilities. Educational facilities like college, training institutes, schools, these institutes provide jobs, opportunities to large group of people beside providing education. And when there is large number of population, definitely the town will start developing. Best example here is the Kanglung town developed due to establishment of Sherabsi College. That is because Kanglung town is developed because of availability of educational facilities. Now the last one is industrialization leads to growth of urban center. Industrialization is closely related with urbanization, and one cannot survive without another, right. Industry cannot survive without urbanization, urbanization cannot survive without industrialization. They love each other very much, so much, and they are romantic here, right. The point here is industrialization provides different goods which are essential for the development besides providing job. See, industrialization provides goods to develop the markets, and urban centers will provide the labors to industrialization as well as raw materials to industry. So wherever there is industrialization, the town will start developing. That is all. Most of the towns in Bhutan like Thimphu has also, and actually Gomtu town has developed because of industrializations and all. Next, we are going to see concentric zone model, and this theory was put forward by the American sociologist E.W. Burgess, and sometimes we call this theory as Burgess model too. And this theory explain, and this was the first theory introduced in Chicago, and it explains the urban social structure. And this concentric zone theory state that the growth of towns takes place outward from its center area to form a series of concentric rings. And it also describes the hypothetical pattern of land use within urban areas. Okay? Now let us see the concentric zone theory. It has a central business district in the middle. Then the second zone, it has factory zone, town is expanding outwards. And third, it has a zone of transition, and then it has working class zone, then it has residential zone, and finally the city has commuter zone. This is how cities is been organized. Burgess says that city will expand from the center to outward in the concentric ring, in the concentric circle. Okay? Now let us describe this each zone. Let us say another picture here. It shows zone 1 is central business district. Now here in central business district, you will find tall buildings, all shopping complex, Dayang, discotheque, these all theaters, banking, administrative office, these are all located in center. That is in the central business district, and that is why we call this central business district at heart of the cities, and it is the commercial core because all the business activities will take place here, and this is non-residential zone. So therefore population will be deserted during night time, which means there will be zero population during night and high density of population during daytime. Okay? Then the next zone is factory zone, or the zone in transition or zone of transition can be explained together. So this zone has light manufacturing activities, and this zone has factories that supports the business in the central business district, right? And this zone is occupied by poor people who migrate from rural areas. This zone is also occupied by in-migrants from rural areas. Therefore this zone will have slums and squatter settlement developed there. Slums and squatter settlements here means that poor settlement where the housing condition is very poor, houses are built with tins and all the poor condition of housing facilities. In fact, we call this a pathetic condition of housing facilities will be there in this slums and squatter settlement. And this zone is called as zone of transition because Burgess also says that city will expand from the core, and when central business districts keep on expanding, what happens is one day it will capture. One day it will capture the factory zone or zone of transition and form into central business district. So that is how it is the zone of transition. Then the next zone here is residential zone for lower income group. People who work in factory zone and central business districts live in residential zone who have very low income. People who cannot afford to travel from outer zone, they will settle in the residential zone of lower income group, and this area has a poor housing condition. You can see in the picture that houses are clustered together, there won't be good sanitation, health issues will be there, and lots of problem will be there because this zone is also occupied by poor people. Then the next zone is a residential zone for middle class group, means middle income group. People who have little bit better income compared to lower income group will settle here. You see the housing condition, it's better because the distance, there is houses are isolated, there is space between the houses, sanitation can be better compared to residential zone. These are the residential zone of middle income groups and who cannot afford to travel from commuter zone, the outermost part of the city, and they settle here. And finally, the outermost part of the city is commuters zone. Commuters here means travelers. Travelers are called as commuters. You see in this zone, you can see the houses have vast space and the facility is better here, and the richest people who can travel, who can afford to travel to central business district and factory zone to work, settle in this zone. And sometimes we call this zone as the higher class people zone, residential zone for higher class also. Okay, and sometimes we call outermost part of the city, and after this zone there is agriculture land or the forest area. Okay, that's how Burgess explained, saying that the city will expand from the center outward, and in fact he also says when the city expands from the center, it will force other concentric zone to expand too. Okay, now we will see the classification of urban centers in our country. We are going to see the classification of urban centers in our country. First we have administrative town. Administrative town, see, administrative towns are towns that are developed because of administrative purpose. Towns develop in and around the Dzongkhag headquarters, it is called as administrative town. Next classification of urban center or next types of towns in Bhutan is educational town. Towns develop due to educational facilities like schools, college, training institution and so on. The best example is Kanglung town, developed because of establishment of Sherapsi College. Next, third town is trade town. Town developed due to trade facilities, like for example Phuntsiling town is a town developed due to trade facilities with our border India. Then we have industrial town. Town developed due to industrial development. Wherever there is industrialization, whichever the area has industry will have a town, and that town is called as industrial town, and that is town developed due to availability of industry. So that is Gomtu town in our country is the best example. Now let us see what this town, what this factory is, what urbanization these towns has made impact, how it has made impact, and when we are going to see positive impact as well as negative impact. Okay, the first positive impact is urban centers provides more job opportunities. You are going to come to urban centers after finishing your degree or class 12. That is exactly you want to search job in urban areas, because in urban areas there are factories, there are business, there are hotels, there are banks. These sectors provides the job opportunity for you. So therefore urban center provides more job opportunities, better and quality services. Look at your village. Look at your village. Your village might not have one good farm road, one good footpath. Forget Thimphu city has flyover bridge, double laning roads, even expressway. But your village do not have one good mode of roads. That's how. You see, your village might have BHU, a small hospital or a small health services will be going here. Look at your Dzongkhag, you will have regional referral hospitals, national hospitals and so on. So this kind of better qualities, better and quality of service is provided in urban settlement. Okay, and improving living standard of the people. Urban settlement provide job opportunity, better sanitation is there, better income can be earned in urban settlement. That's how urban settlement improve the living standard of the people. Good mode of transportation. I already explained good mode of transportation. We have perfect roads, highways, expressway, urban roads, but very difficult to have one farm roads in rural areas also, right? Next advantage is good communication facilities, health, water supply and so on, right? We have better communication facilities in urban centers, better internet facilities in urban centers and better advanced technologies for in urban centers to communicate with people, right? Now the negative impact. Of course urban settlements have other negatives impact in it, right? Urban settlements is not only holding positive, it also holds some negative. Let's see some of the negatives there. Rise in unemployment. Your village people are employed. They do agriculture work, they do livestock and they do their work and they are employed there. But come to town areas, how many people are working around the Thimphu city catching a lead to get a job. So now you see rise in unemployment. How this problem arises, people will move from rural areas to urban area to find out the job. But when they reach to urban center, what happens is their qualification and skills gets mismatched. So they become unemployed and they start going for drugs, they start fightings and creates lots of social problem. That's how unemployment rate increased and start or instigate other problems too. Growth of slums and squatter settlements will be there. As I told you already in concentric zone theory, growth of slums and squatter settlements happens in because when people from rural area migrate to urban centers, they do not find the job and they are not able to afford the facilities provided by core of the city. They go outside of the city, develop a poor condition of houses and they will start living there. And the condition, sanitations is very poor. That's how the disease will start, and this disease will start spreading and reach to the core of the city. That's how it will create the biggest problems because of growth of slums and squatter settlements. The next problem is urban sprawl. Urban sprawl means expansion of the towns outwards towards the expansion of the towns outwards to agriculture land or the forestry area. What is the problem for urban sprawl here? When urban sprawl takes place, it will capture the nearby agriculture land, which will lead to reduction in agriculture land. It will capture the beautiful forest, which will lead to reduction in beautiful flowers, trees, beautiful forest, and it will pollute the waters. So lots of problems arise because of urban sprawls, right? Traffic congestion. The number of vehicles are drastically increasing in urban centers like cities of Thimphu, Phuntsholling. Every time there is problems of traffic congestions. Because of these leads to accidents and threatens the life of urban dwellers. This is another problem. Pollution, in fact, right? Land, water, air pollution, noise pollution. You come to urban areas, you will see lots of noise coming out, then factory comes out, the smokes come out. It will give first the noise pollution, then they start polluting air, and these factories will lead the waste to the water, then the waters get polluted and even the land get polluted because of waste problems. So lots of pollutions take place in urban areas. There are other social problems like vandalisms, gang fights, even rape cases and theft cases. These are other problems in urban areas, and most of these problems are not found in rural areas. Now you decide which place is best to live for you, is in urban or rural areas, because importance and negative and positive impacts is given here. Okay. Now in this lesson we discuss about the introduction, the definition of urban settlement. Urban settlements mean mainly people are engaged in secondary and tertiary activities, and then urbanization, process of movement of people from rural to urban areas, and the traditional society is transformed into more modernized and urbanized societies. Then we discuss the concentric zone theory, which explains the urban land use patterns, and we explain the factor influencing the growth of urban centers in our country. We discuss 5 factors: transports, availability of agriculture resources, availability of mineral resources, industrializations, and availability of educational facilities. We also discuss about classification of towns in our country, classification of urban centers in our country, and finally we discussed about impact of urbanization. I have questions for you, student activity. That is, first question is, urbanization has led to several social and environmental problems in a place. However, it has numerous advantages to the people living in and around the urban centers. Describe any 4 such advantages. And the next question is, explain 4 factors that affect the location and growth of urban centers. Thank you so much and all the best.